Hey everyone, welcome back. Have you ever, like, wished you could search for images online, but not just by keywords?
Hmm.
Like you could just describe the scene you have in mind.
Oh, yeah.
Say a photo of a golden retriever puppy playing fetch on a beach at sunset. That kind of search is actually becoming a reality thanks to visual language models,
Hmm.
or VLMs.
Right.
VLMs are giving computers the power to see and understand images in a way that's much closer to how we as humans experience the world.
Yeah.
And, well, that's what we're diving into today.
It's a really exciting field
Yeah.
because for a long time, computer vision was really just limited to recognizing objects in images.
Mhm.
Like, okay, there's a dog, there's a ball kind of thing. But VLMs, they go way beyond that. They can
Mhm.
understand the relationships between those objects, the actions that are happening, even like the overall mood or emotion of the scene.
Oh, that's really amazing. So it's like
Mm.
they're learning to read
Mm.
images just like we read text, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So how do they actually work? Is it magic?
Well, not magic,
Okay.
but it's pretty close. The key is this type of artificial intelligence called a transformer.
Okay.
You might have heard of this in like the context of language models like ChatGPT,
Uh-huh.
but it turns out that transformers are also incredibly powerful for visual understanding as well.
Okay, so can you remind me, how do these transformers work?
So imagine you're looking at a picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your brain doesn't just see like a bunch of random pixels.
Yeah.
It sees like patterns and shapes and colors all kind of connected together in this really meaningful way.
Right.
So a transformer does something similar where it breaks down the image into like smaller parts,
Okay.
like focusing on the dog, the ball, the beach, and then figures out how all those parts relate to each other.
Right.
But at the same time, it's also processing language, like
Okay.
say the caption that would be associated with that image. And so it's learning to connect the visual information with the words that describe it.
Oh, that's really cool. So it's like building a mental model of the scene, both visually and linguistically. That's incredible.
Exactly.
Wow.
And one of the most impressive VLMs that's out there right now is called CLEP,
Cool.
which stands for Contrastive Language Image Pre-training.
Oh.
And what makes CLIP so revolutionary is its ability to do what's called zero-shot image classification.
Okay.
And basically, you can give it a text description of something it's never even seen before,
Right.
and it can still accurately classify images based on that description.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So if I show CLEP a picture of, say, a cat wearing a tiny hat,
Mhm.
even if it's never seen a cat in a hat before, it could still correctly identify it based on just the text description, cat wearing a hat.
Precisely.
Okay.
And that's actually a huge leap forward from traditional image recognition, where you'd have to train the model on thousands of images of, cats in hats specifically.
Right.
CLAP's ability to generalize, like, this opens up this whole new world of possibilities for image search, for understanding, and even, like, creative applications.
That's mind-blowing. I'm starting to see why VLMs are such a huge deal.
Yeah.
But building and actually using these models, that can't be easy, right,
No,
bro?
you're absolutely right. It's a challenge.
There's so much data involved, I imagine. It's really complex.
It does, and that's where Roboflow comes in.
Okay.
They've created this platform that streamlines that whole process of building computer vision applications, including those that are powered by VLMs.
Okay.
It's like they've taken all those messy, complicated parts
Right.
and made them accessible to a much wider audience.
Okay. So let's dive into Roboflow. What exactly does it do?
Okay.
And how does it make things easier for developers?
So think about the typical workflow for building like a computer vision model.
Hmm.
First, you need a massive data set of images.
Right.
And I'm talking like thousands, often millions of images.
Oh, okay.
Then comes this tedious task of annotation, where you have to label each image with like the objects and concepts that it contains.
Yeah. That sounds really time-consuming. It's like teaching a computer to see from scratch,
It is. It's a lot of work.
one image at a time.
Yeah. And even after you've got your annotated data set, you still need to train your model, which requires a lot of computing power and expertise.
Yeah.
Then there's deployment, actually getting your model to work in a real-world application.
Right.
It's a challenging process. There are many potential pitfalls along the way.
So how does Roboflow tackle all of this?
So they've built this suite of tools and services that address each of those challenges.
Okay.
So for starters, they have tools for managing your image data sets,
Okay.
making it easy to upload, organize, and collaborate with your team.
Right.
Then they've really streamlined that annotation process.
Mm-hmm.
They have this web-based interface that makes labeling images much faster and more efficient.
Oh, wow.
They even offer these automated annotation tools that can pre-label images using existing models, which saves you even more time.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're trying to remove as much of the manual labor as possible so that developers can focus on, the more creative aspects of building their applications.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it doesn't stop there. Roboflow also has powerful tools for training your models.
Okay.
They offer pre-trained models that you can then fine-tune on your own data set, or you can build your models from scratch using their platform.
Wow.
And they handle all the infrastructure for you, so you don't need to worry about setting up servers or managing like complex cloud computing environments.
That's a huge relief for developers. It's like they're taking care of all the plumbing so you can focus on building the actual house, right?
That's a great analogy. And once your model is trained, Roboflow makes it easy to deploy it to various platforms.
No.
They support deployment to the web, mobile devices, even edge devices like cameras and sensors.
Wow.
And they offer continuous monitoring and improvement tools so you can track your model's performance and make adjustments as needed.
So in a nutshell, Roboflow provides everything you need to go from raw images to like a fully functioning computer vision application, all in one place.
Exactly. And they've built it with VLMs in mind.
Okay.
They understand those specific challenges of working with these models, and they've designed their platform to make the process as smooth and intuitive as possible.
That's really impressive. Now, I'm curious to see how all of this translates into real-world applications.
Yeah.
Can you give us some examples of how VLMs are being used to solve real problems and, create new possibilities?
Absolutely. There are some incredible use cases emerging across a wide range of industries,
Okay.
from healthcare and agriculture to manufacturing and even art and design.
Wow.
VLMs are starting to make a real impact.
Okay, let's hear about these real-world examples. What's the first one that comes to mind?
Well, one area where VLMs are showing huge promise is medical imaging.
Okay.
So imagine a radiologist examining a chest x-ray.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for like subtle signs of pneumonia, but those can be easily missed, even by trained eyes.
Yeah.
A VLM that's been trained on thousands of x-rays can act as like a second reader,
Okay.
highlighting areas of concern and even providing a probability score for different diagnoses.
Oh, wow. So it's not about replacing the human expertise, but like augmenting it,
Exactly.
making the process faster and more accurate. That's reassuring to hear.
Mm.
What other fields are seeing this kind of impact?
Agriculture is another great example.
Okay.
VLMs are being used to analyze drone imagery of farm fields.
Mm-hmm.
They can actually identify individual plants, assess their health,
Wow.
even detect early signs of disease or pest infestations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It's like having this like digital scout that can monitor every plant in the field
Yeah.
24/7.
Exactly.
I bet that's a game changer for farmers trying to optimize their operations
Mm-hmm.
and minimize their environmental impact. What other examples come to mind?
Well, let's move to the world of manufacturing.
Hmm.
Here, VLMs are revolutionizing quality control on assembly lines. Instead of relying on human inspectors to catch defects, manufacturers are using VLM-powered systems that can inspect products in real time,
Right.
identifying even the smallest flaws.
Oh, wow.
This not only improves product quality, but also reduces waste and speeds up production.
So it's like having this like super powered quality control expert with X-ray vision constantly monitoring the production line. That's going to be a huge advantage in industries where precision and reliability are paramount.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating is that VLMs aren't limited to just like practical industrial applications.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They're also being used in incredibly creative ways. For example, artists are using VLMs to generate entirely new forms of art.
How do they do that?
Well, they're feeding text prompts into these models describing scenes or emotions,
Okay.
and then the VLM generates these stunningly realistic images based on those descriptions.
Wow. That's blurring the lines between human creativity and artificial intelligence in a really interesting way.
Yeah.
It's like these VLMs are becoming like creative collaborators, right?
Exactly.
Helping artists push the boundaries of their imagination.
Yeah, and we're only just scratching the surface of what's possible with VLMs.
Oh.
As the technology continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more innovative and impactful applications emerge.
Right?
They have the potential to transform the way we interact with information, the way we work, even the way we express ourselves creatively.
It's really exciting to think about the possibilities. But As with any powerful technology, there are also potential downsides or challenges that we need to be aware of, right?
You're absolutely right. One of the biggest challenges is ensuring that these VLMs are developed and used responsibly.
Right.
We need to make sure they're not perpetuating biases or being used in ways that could harm individuals or society as a whole.
That's a really crucial point. It's like with any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. It's up to us as developers, researchers, users of this technology
Yeah.
to ensure that we're steering it in a positive direction.
Exactly, and that means having open and honest conversations about the potential risks and benefits of VLMs,
Right.
involving experts from various fields, policymakers, and the general public. It's a collective responsibility to make sure that this technology is used ethically and for the betterment of humanity.
Well said. So to our listeners out there, I encourage you to, keep exploring this really fascinating field and think about how VLMs might shape the future.
And don't forget to tune in Monday evening for our roundup of this week's news, where we'll keep you updated on all the latest developments in AI and computer vision.
Until then, stay curious and we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.